every bait that's ever hit the water. No matter the shape, size, or color, power bait is the only one that is scientifically proven. Fish bite and will not let go.
The Guaranteed Rate Elite at Lake Champlain is sponsored by Ranger Boats, Yamaha, Toyota, and by Berkeley.
Or how, I'm not sure. Why, I'm not sure how we got here, but this is already the 8th stop of the Bassmaster Elite Series, the Guaranteed Rate. Bassmaster Elite back here at historic Lake Champlain, and what a playing field it is. Always a great playing field, always tons of stories, tons of questions. Who makes the big run? Who doesn't make the big run? And we are in beautiful, picturesque Plattsburgh, New York, and proving just how fickle the sport of pro angling is. Justin Atkins, a guy who was supposed to walk away with an event in his home body of water, finds himself in the lead here in New York, probably the state that showed him the most concern when he signed up for the Bassmaster Elite Series. But you've got no troubles when you're on Lake Champlain. This incredible playing field, I mean, not just a smallmouth fishery, this one of the greatest largemouth bass fisheries in the world. And as I said, we are in picturesque Plattsburgh, New York once again, and I am joined by the uber talented Bassmaster Classic champion, multiple Angler of the Year titles, Davey Height. We are standing here beside Disneyland of bass fishing, basically. Largemouth, smallmouth, you name it, you want to get out there. Is this one a little tougher to be standing on shore for?
Yeah, if you've ever been up here to Lake Champlain, you realize what you're talking about, Dave Mercer. A lot of my friends from down south have never been to Lake Champlain, and you're missing out on a lot if you haven't. Because like you say, you just pick your day if you want to go fishing for largemouth or you want to go fishing for smallmouth. And a lot of times when I fish tournaments here, I'm sure sometimes when you've been here, Dave, you just can't decide which one you want to fish for. But in a tournament like this, you have to decide which ones are going to weigh a little more. And a lot of the smallmouth we're seeing these anglers catch are skinny this time of year. But, man, there's so many smallmouth out there, and I think maybe that would be the choice. We'll have to see who does best fishing for the largemouth or the smallmouth, or like Seth Fighter, mix it up and do a little bit of both.
Anybody has a shot in this tournament. We've learned that year after year. 10, 12 spots taken up by just a few ounces. With that, let's have a look at our Toyota midday report, and proving that a guy who can make a big move. The guy who won this the last time we were here, I believe, went out in 10th position on the final day. But if you get a shot to get out there on the championship day, you got a shot to win it. And Brandon Polnick is trying to back this up about 3 hours after his wedding.
Yeah, about 3 hours it seems like. It hasn't been long ago. That's right. And you always have to look out for Brandon Polnick. He's proven he can catch largemouth, but when you come to the Great Lakes, we've seen him do so well here on Champlain. Obviously, he won last year, Lake Ontario, where a lot of the anglers will probably make that run and go there next week. Brandon Polnick, but he got off to a slower start, you see right here, with some very smallmouth, and was very disappointed. I heard him say, when he landed one of those one-pounders, pathetic. He almost made it 2 words because Brandon Polnick is not accustomed to catching one-pounders, and just in the last hour or so, he has really upgraded. So got a camera on the right, one of the right ones, no doubt about it, with Brandon Polnick here, just recently catching his biggest fish so far of the day.
Well, if Seth Fighter wants that title, he's going to have to take out the big sticks. He's going to have to take out Brandon Polnick, defending champion of this body of water, and on our next body of water, just happens to be the first Canadian ever to win, Chris Johnson.
Yeah, some of the greatest smallmouth fishermen ever. Chris Johnson, Brandon Polnick, and Corey Johnson might have something to say about that, but no doubt about it, Chris Johnson in our top 5 Angler of the Year, and I heard Zona and Ronnie Moore talking just a little bit ago. Boy, they've really held their own with the Angler of the Year race, whether we're talking about Brandon Polnick or Chris Johnson, even some Seth Fighter. But Chris Johnson is really surprising to me, Dave. I don't know about you, but seeing him go to largemouth early in the day, knowing that Chris Johnson loves to fish for those smallmouth.
I just think that's him being him, making those amazing moves, because, I just think in years past, he'd have stuck with the largemouth, but he knows how to fish by the seat of his pants now. And here's a guy who knows how to fish anywhere in the world, Jason Christie.
Yeah, we saw him early in the season get an Elite Series victory there in Orange, Texas on Sabine River, making the long run, fishing different than almost anyone else, making a long run up the Sabine River, not some of those other directions that the anglers were going towards Houston and places like that. But Jason Christie is just a fisherman, and he knows how to catch 5 big fish. He loves to fish for those 5 big ones, whether they're largemouth or smallmouth. And if you haven't kept up with him through his career, you might not know this, but Jason Christie is a very good smallmouth bass fisherman.
Jason Christie, you know, took a win on Lake St. Clair just a few years ago. I mean, he is not a guy that you want to, you know, pigeonhole into. I mean, he's an Oklahoma angler, very versatile, one of the most feared anglers anywhere we go. And man, you look at this Toyota Midday Report, and what stands out is everybody that's battling for that Angler of the Year title, but they're all chasing down one guy, this guy right here, Seth Feider.
Yeah, and Seth Feider, talking to him a little bit this morning and seeing him, and he lost a fish here. Doesn't look like he was doing anything wrong, but boy, you could tell he had the Angler of the Year title on his mind, and as well he should. Leading going into the final 2 events of the year. It's a life-changing event for you to win B.A.S.S. Angler of the Year. Seth Feider has come so close. Had a couple victories late in the season with the smallmouth, but this AOY would really, really make Seth Feider, you know, kind of separate him from a lot of the other anglers, and that's what he knows, and that's what he wants to accomplish here. Start out with some smallmouth, lost a good one, caught a couple small ones, but you could tell he feels very comfortable with his jig in his hand, flipping the milfoil, and he really's calmed down and settled down and caught 2 or 3 super nice small largemouth here, 3-pounders and one about 4-pounder.
And if Feider is going to win this title, I mean, this is the way, as a bass fishing fan, I want to see him win it. I want him to go to the bodies of water that he is supposed to win on and feel that pressure. I mean, if we were in Okeechobee or some of the southern bodies of water, people would say, well, can Seth hold on? Everybody's expecting to see it. And if you look at our Skeeter Boats Angler of the Year watch, as you can see, that's why. With 602 points and his next closest pursuer 554, Jason Christie.
Yeah, if you look at those numbers, if Seth Feider has 2 top 25s, he cannot lose it. And that's easier said than done. A lot of pressure on him. And I have to say, Dave, being in that position, going to a lake that you're not expected to do well on, kind of relieves some pressure.
Yeah.
Because if it doesn't work out, you say, man, if I would have been able to finish up on Lake A or Lake B. But Seth Feider is expected to do well here, and that adds more pressure to him.